despejada y vista atenta.
Object than you might expect. It takes roughly 100 pounds per square inch of pressure to puncture through human skin. And given that a human fist is roughly 64 square inches in surface area, that means that Homelander needed to apply 6,400 psi of this dude in order to get his hand bloody. An average boxer, by comparison, can deliver between 1,200 and 1,700 psi, which is basically the same as an industrial pressure walker. Now imagine that, but 3 times worse. It's nothing to Homelander. And if you think that's scary, I would most recommend seeing this thing. It's a very trouble scene of the show. The Homelander casually punches a bank robber away after 16 kids and holding gunpoint. To figure out roughly where the scene takes place thanks to the street signs. Going through it frame by frame, you can see signs for Beaumont Place and Smith Street, real locations in Brooklyn, New York. Usually, this means that we're able to get a pretty good idea of how far Homelander threw the thug, since a standard New York City block is about 264 feet by 900 feet, or about 80 meters by 274. Using that, I was able to estimate that the robber was thrown about 135 feet. He was in the air for roughly 6.1 seconds, and plugging all of that into a projectile motion calculator, we'll find that he was thrown at about 68 miles an hour, 30.5 meters a second. Assuming that this dude weighed as much as an average American male, plugging all of that into a kinetic energy formula, we'll find Homelander threw this guy with a fire 42,000 joules of energy. To give you a frame of reference, that would be 26 times faster than boxing legend Mike Tyson. But, okay, so Homelander's physical strength is incredible, and that doesn't matter a whole lot. He's not fast enough to land a punch. But don't you worry, my friends, he is more than fast enough to land a blow that'll rip through someone's chest. Just hold on to an hand flying through the air, Homelander is tremendously fast. He is clearly demonstrated multiple times. That is nowhere near Homelander's impressive speed. No, that honor goes to this scene from the finale of season 1. After confronting Owen's leader Billy Butcher in a house that's been rigged with keyboards, Wilson's Butcher, however, Homelander is able to succeed enough not only to save himself from being blown to glass, but Butcher as well. Keyboard's velocity detonation, or the rate at which it explodes, is about 1,400 feet a second. 18,000 miles per hour, 29,000 kilometers an hour. Now, you can obviously tell that that is ludicrously fast, but moving that quickly also means that Homelander would be creating bone-crunching amounts of energy. Using the equation force equals mass times acceleration, we can figure out that Homelander is generating a crazy 700,000 newtons of force just from moving. Now, that might be nothing to Homelander, but you gotta remember, he's also moving Butcher at this speed, which would almost certainly kill him because that force is roughly 10 per hour head-on splash. So it's we're to see Homelander well, super speed or physical strength are both wildly powerful abilities, but the flashiest of Homelander's superpowers and the one he leans on the most is undoubtedly his laser vision. In fact, he uses it so much and it's such a big part of the show's marketing that I'd classify this as his signature ability. But just how powerful is it? Is it the strongest ability? After all, we see him do everything from use it to melt guns to cut through humans like they're butter. So to calculate what I figured would be the upper range of the amount of energy Homelander can output through his eyes, I decided to use this scene where he cuts through a private jet in just 0.96 seconds. How'd I figure it out? Well, there's a lot of complicated math, but here's the long and short of it. We were able to figure out that the plane used in the scene was a British Aerospace 125. And though we couldn't find the exact materials this model plane is made from, most commercial aircraft are being using aluminum, titanium, and steel. So this would be using aluminum to be a symbol of underestimating his power in this case. Using the Aerospace's height, length, and hull thickness, we were able to estimate that he was able to melt roughly 150.7 kilograms of aluminum in that 0.9 seconds. Insane. Using the average width of a pair of human eyes as the size of our laser beams, assuming that the hull is made of aluminum and that the temperature of the hull is about -40 degrees Celsius, or the warmer end of the outside of an airplane at cruising altitude, with some back-to-napkin math, we can calculate that Homelander's less than 1 second of heat vision here transferred a massive 73,052,960 joules of energy to the metal on that plane. That is over 20 kilowatt hours, or a little less than what you need to power an average house for an entire day, all from Homelander just looking at something really hard for less than a second. And believe it or not, all of these assumptions were actually just lowballing the amount of energy Homelander's outputting to the scene. We were giving him the easiest possible scenario here. And it's also not saying anything about his ability to control the intensity of those eyes. He's able to speed up a bottle of milk without the bottle door avoiding the liquid. That right there tells us that Homelander is just really good at figuring out the thermodynamics of objects around him, knowing how much energy his piping needs to output to fill, but also to melt aluminum depending on the circumstance. That is an insane amount of control. Probably a stronger ability than just lifting things or moving fast. So it is clear that Homelander is just ridiculously powerful. But here's the thing. While his physical prowess is unmatched, I actually don't believe that that's what makes Homelander the most powerful of superheroes. Instead, Homelander's biggest strength, the thing that makes him the most powerful and the scariest of all the supes, it's his brand. Let me explain. Superheroes are big business in the real world, with the corporations who own them bringing in billions from those IPs. In 2013 alone, the most popular superheroes generated between 275 million and 1.3 billion each just from merchandise retail sales alone in a single year. As the most powerful supe in the world and the leader of the seven, between movies and action figures and whatever, Homelander's brand should easily be making at least the lower end of that margin within the world of boys. And that's not even considering the military contracts that Homelander's able to bring in for the bot company. Additionally, it's very clear that suits in this universe function very similar to real-world influencers. They have way more power than you might think. First of all, if you want to continue the fast talking, man, stuff the money both ways. Popular athletes and YouTubers are often worth tens or even hundreds of millions of dollars. Multiple soccer players were offered $1 billion contracts that they turned down, by the way, because as one article put it, quote, most soccer fans around the world now follow players, not. Which makes a lot of sense when you consider that these players have between 100 and 480 million social media followers. That's in the same range as the 193 million followers that Starlight has in the world of the boys over on Instagram. And though she's touted as the most followed supe, Homelander has to have himself similar numbers. Building off of that, these insane follower counts give influencers massive amounts of power. Oh sure, Mr. Beast was able to leverage his subscriber base to get Beast Burger into the $100 million revenue range, but what's even more impressive is that he was able to keep the Feastables chocolate bar displays in retail stores clean simply by asking fans to tidy them up for it, which they did, all without pay, just because he packaged them nicely.
Mi espada guarda su movimiento.
¡Listo para lanzarme!
¡Enemigo por aquí!
Mi habilidad definitiva está lista.
Acercaos si queréis sanación. Mi aguardación total. Adelante, yo cuidaré. Allí hay uno. Los héroes viven para siempre. Hora de entrar en acción.
No es lo mejor.
Venid aquí y os curaré.
Están justo donde quería.
Jugada destacada.